And joining us right now on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, this man made so many Phillies fans happy when the news broke early last week, with him returning in a more full-time capacity with the Phillies radio broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him, Greg Murphy. What's up, Murph?
Farzy, how are you? Good to see you, and I'm just as excited as hopefully everybody else is to be back and ready to get some baseball going for sure.
Certainly, it's you. You're going to obviously be doing your regular thing, but then also Michael Bourne, Eric Kratz going to be joining the broadcast. Kevin Stocker and Chad Durbin, as a matter of fact. So, what do the radio guys have in store for us this season?
Well, you know, it's interesting because you got four guys. Only Kevin Stocker of that group has really ever done this kind of broadcasting before. So we have three new guys that are going to be getting their feet wet for the first time. But, you know, they're working with one of the best in the business in Scott Fransky. So that transition is going to be easy for them. Baseball comes easy to these guys, right? They see the game better than we all ever will because they played it at the highest level. So that part is easy. It's the back and forth with the play-by-play guy that they'll be learning. But, it's four great personalities. I've been around all these guys very often, really great personalities. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun getting to know them, getting to know their personalities on the air and seeing what they have to say.
Is it pretty much just going to be radio? Is it going to be a social media presence? Like, what's going to be going on there?
Yeah, definitely a social media presence too. We're working on that right now. We're going to get ready to launch that soon. So keep your eyes open for that. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay.
But we do hope to have a very heavy social media presence with all of the guys on the radio, including Scott and Larry, myself, and the new guys as well. So keep your eyes open for that.
Wonderful. We will. Now, just selfishly, before we get into Phillies baseball a little bit more in depth, the last time you joined us, I believe I even teased a special project that you and I happen to be working on. We joined up with Steve Rotfeld, who's a great producer here locally in Philadelphia, but he puts together these great shows called Greatest Sports Legends, and now he's done a revamp of that show, Greatest Sports Legends Then and Now, which features you, Greg Murphy, as well as Wes Hall from NBC Sports DC, and myself as like a producer role or moderator, if you will. And this show people can watch on Saturday afternoons locally on PHL 17. Yeah. What did you enjoy so much about doing that show?
You know, it's so much fun going back and looking at the old footage, the Greatest Sports Legends, the original show, which I think was on from 1976 to 1993. They have so much great footage and great interviews with some athletes that we forget, how good they were. So we get a chance to bring them back, talk about them a little bit, and, debate between the three of us, debate back and forth about who could play today, who's the best of all time. It's just a lot of fun. And I think people – who have been watching sports for a long time, they're going to reminisce about, when I was 15 years old, this guy was everything. And I remember that. And I think that's what it does. It brings back some great memories.
My favorite thing about the show is I feel like a lot of younger generations can't say anymore, oh, that's before my time, because this show kind of lets everyone get that education.
Yeah. I have two sons, one who's 20 and one who's 17. And my 17-year-old, my 20-year-old's in college, but my 17-year-old's still here at home. So he and I have been watching the show, and he has heard these names, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and Bob Cousy. He's heard all the names, but he's never seen them before. And now he's getting a chance to hear us talk about them, see them in action a little bit, and he's really enjoying it. He's learning a lot, and he's really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's certainly education for me to be a part of that show as well, man. Now, to jump into the Phillies here, where were you when you heard the news that baseball was, in fact, coming back?
Well, I was literally right here in the house. I was doing some work for another part of my life. I was working on the computer, but I will tell you, Farzy, I'm this guy. I'm the guy with the phone in my hand, refreshing Twitter every 30 seconds. Because we knew it was close and we knew the vote was happening. And for a moment there, we weren't sure if the vote was going to pass. And I'm refresh. And then finally, one of the national reporters broke the news. And I was excited. I'm a fan. I want it back. I'm excited about it. So I say, let's go. I'm ready.
How excited are you in particular for the Phillies season? Obviously, 2 games over 500 last year. We missed out on first place by about 6 games to a team that ended up winning the World Series. How excited are you for this Phillies team itself?
Well, I'm excited. I always am. A new season means new opportunities and all kinds of things that could happen. I mean, no one thought the Atlanta Braves were going to win the World Series last year, and they ended up winning it, right? So I'm excited about the new season. That said, listen to me, Phillies fans. Yes, there's work to be done. This roster is not finished yet. They need a couple of pieces, and they need a couple of big pieces, to be quite honest. I believe that they're working hard to fill those places, whether it be a left fielder, a third baseman, a big bat in the middle of the lineup. There's guys out there, but they just got to go out and get them.
How serious do you think Dave Dombrowski, John Middleton, how serious do you think these guys are about adding another maybe big name to this organization?
I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think it's a 15. These guys, look, anyone can say what they want, but, John Middleton wants to win the World Series every single season. He does. There's no argument there. You cannot argue with me about that. That's a fact. And he brought Dave Dombrowski in to get that job done. So they're very serious about it, obviously. Now they have to figure out how to do it. And I think that's what they're in the process of trying to do right now, is figure out how to do it. Right now, I think if you look at the division, the Phils are third at best right now. They've got some work to do, but there's still time and there's guys out there.
Okay, when it comes to what they have right now before they add anybody else, Didi, Gregorious, Bryson, Stott at shortstop, how do you see that battle kind of working out?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to bet, I think it's going to be a battle. In fact, we heard from Joe Girardi on Sunday. We heard from Dave Dombrowski on Sunday, and they both said the same thing. That's going to be a battle in camp. But if you're asking me how I think it's going to play out, I think Didi Gregorious is your starting shortstop at the beginning of the season. I think he'll probably earn that spot, honestly. He had a bad year last year, no doubt about it. He wasn't healthy. But I do think that he's still got a couple of good years left. So I would expect him to win that battle. But know that Bryson Stott is right there behind him. And if Bryson Stott comes out and impresses, that leash is going to be short for Didi, for sure, as it should be. That's professional sports. That's the way it works. So Didi knows that. Bryson knows that. It'll be fun to watch Stott in camp and see him perform. But I think Didi's probably your shortstop on opening day.
How about DH now that it's universal? The universal DH is here. Who do you see getting the most at-bats as a DH for this team?
Yeah, so I think that's a little bit up for grabs right now, because I do think that perhaps a new name will get a lot of at-bats at the DH spot. But I think you're going to see Rhys Hoskins get some DH spots. You're certainly going to see JT Realmuto get some spots. Bryce Harper is going to get some shots at the DH position. So, they're going to use it more as a chance to get guys off their feet. They have a lot of guys that can fit that role. They were pretty clear in their press conference that they're not going out to look for a DH to DH 150 games. That's not what they're looking for. If they add in another big bat, any of the names that are out there, you pick it. Kris Bryant, is he going to DH 40 times? Yeah, he'll DH 40 times too. So I think that's what they're looking at now. DH by committee in order to get guys off their feet, but keep their bat in the line. You
mentioned the name Kris Bryant. Do you think, in any idea, in your own opinion, is there a ranking system here with the Phillies with looking at Kris Bryant, looking at Nick Castellanos, looking at any of these guys that could be available in free agency right now? Do you have a preference on who they would bring in?
I really don't. And I certainly don't have any inside knowledge, but I don't have a preference. I think each of the, Kyle Schwarber, you can throw his name in there, Nick Castellanos. I think all of those guys will help this team. They're really good players, and they serve roles that the Phillies are currently looking for. A guy like Castellanos, he can play both outfield positions, certainly a big bat in the middle of the lineup. Kris Bryant could play third base, could play left field. He's a guy that's very versatile, big bat in the middle of the lineup. Schwarber, a leadoff guy, or at least he's proven that he can be a very good leadoff guy with a little bit of pop as well. So all of these things are something the Phillies lineup could use. I think they're looking at all three. I think they're talking to all three, and they're just trying to make the best deal they can so that they can plug some other holes that they have as well.
How worried should I be that Zach Wheeler is not exactly ready to throw off a mound just yet?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to say not really worried, but I guess more worried today than we would have been before we heard the news on Sunday. I was taken aback a little bit by it, but I listened to what Zach had to say to some of the newspaper reporters down in Clearwater, and I listened to what Joe Girardi said too, and I'm okay. I think we're okay. Zach said that he had a little bit of shoulder soreness back when he first started throwing in December or whatever, so he stopped, waited a couple weeks, and then started again, and ever since then he's been on track. So he's just a couple weeks behind. We get an extra week because of the lockout. So I'm not overly concerned yet. Now, if we hear the word shoulder soreness again in spring training, then it's time to panic, perhaps.
Excellent. What are you most looking forward to with this new radio team that's assembled with you at the helm, my friend? What are you most looking forward to when it comes to this season?
You know what? First and foremost, I'm looking forward to getting back with the guys, both the radio and the TV guys, getting back out on the road and being a part of that broadcast crew again that we really haven't had for 2 years. It's a kind of a special situation when you're involved in a baseball broadcast, 162 games on the road, away from the family, but with your baseball family. And it's a lot of fun. And those guys are some of my closest friends. So I'm really looking forward to just being back and doing that job again and being with all those guys. And again, I'm a baseball fan. And as you know, I'm probably a quasi-optimist. No, I'm an optimist, probably way too much of an optimist. But I'm looking forward to getting to the postseason. It's been a while. And I really, really hope this is the year that ends, that drought ends.
Well, I am certainly looking forward to hearing your voice on the radio for even more so than we have in any recent time, my friend. Murph, always great catching up with you. Good luck with the season. I'm sure we'll talk to you again down the line. I know you're going to be headed down there for those games for your own version of spring training with these guys. So nothing but success with that, and good luck to you, my friend.
I appreciate it, Farzy. Good to talk to you. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. The great Greg Murphy. Murph joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line.